The tomb was supposed to be empty. That was the first mistake. The second mistake was bringing a translator drone that blurted every phrase it detected out loud, even when carved into stone walls. Which is why the first words ever heard from the dead were not solemn, not mysterious, but delivered in a tinny, cheerful monotone. "Welcome, trespassers. Please wipe your feet." The Archeo Collective of Cthon froze. 20 alien species, gathered on the edge of an obsidian valley where black towers jutted like broken teeth, all stared at the opening to the tomb. Ambassador Velth, whose race looked like bipedal cuttlefish perpetually in the process of sneezing, flared his frills in annoyance. "Humans," he clicked, the word sour. It would be humans. They'd thought the species extinct. Not extinct, but the kind of extinct that polite scholars called politically concluded. Humans had burned too bright, too fast. Centuries of war, machines that consumed stars, whispers of wars that never ended, even after treaties were signed. Then, silence. Their colonies vanished, fleets gone, homeworld quarantined. The galaxy had breathed a sigh of relief. And now this tomb. Inside, walls stretched into shadow. Murals glimmered faintly under alien flashlamps, images of armored figures, red banners snapping in cosmic winds, starships prowling through nebulae like wolves. The translator chirped as it read the inscriptions. "Here lie the fallen. They rest until called. They await the signal. Do not disturb unless war." Ambassador Velth snorted. Typical human arrogance. Do not disturb unless war. Everything with them was always war. The smaller, insectoid delegate from Zar clicked nervously. "Yet, these are not statues. They are sealed forms. Intact. Indeed. Each coffin was not stone but metal, frost glass revealing pale figures within. Human figures. Perfectly preserved, hands folded across strange weapons that hummed faintly even in death. One of the younger Cthon scientists, eager for glory, tapped a coffin's surface. It hissed. Light surged across the chamber. A deep vibration shuddered the floor. The translator crackled, caught in a flood of ancient machine code now saturating the airwaves. Then, in a voice both metallic and disturbingly warm, "Query received. Where's the war?" The aliens bolted. Dignitaries scrambled, limbs flailing, as the first coffin slid open. Frost spilled like dragon's breath. The figure within stirred, eyes snapping open, glowing faint blue. He sat up, cracked his neck, looked around with a polite, almost bored smile. "Ah," he said. "Guests. Lovely." He swung his legs out, brushed non-existent dust from his uniform, and glanced at the empty air until his gaze fixed on the nearest alien. "So, which one of you is in charge of the war?" Ambassador Velth stammered. "Tish, there is no war. Humanity has been extinct for." The man chuckled. "Extinct? Oh, how dramatic. We don't go extinct. We recess. Coffee break, if you will." He winked. "War's exhausting. You need the occasional nap." More coffins were opening now. Figures rising, stretching, murmuring to one another. Some looked confused, others amused. One, a tall woman with hair like black ice, muttered, "I swear if this is another false alarm, I'm going back to bed." The insects of Zar were clattering in panic. "Why you cannot? The galaxy is at peace. There is no war." The first man tilted his head thoughtfully. "No war, you say? Fascinating." He glanced at the murals. "And yet, someone opened our tomb. Which means either peace is dreadfully boring, or someone's lying. Which is it?" The aliens tried to retreat, but the chamber sealed with a clang. The murals shifted, red banners fluttered as if alive. A low thrumming filled the air, like the heartbeat of something vast. "Let's make this simple," the human said pleasantly. "Where are we, who's in charge, and which empire needs toppling first?" The collective tried diplomacy. They tried reasoning. They tried lying. None worked. The humans listened politely, nodded, then ignored everything. They moved like soldiers waking from drill rather than death. Weapons hummed to life, armor fused around them like liquid metal. Ambassador Velth snapped at his aides. Transmit for extraction. We must flee before. The human woman intercepted, smiling sweetly. Leaving so soon? Oh, Ambassador, that would be terribly rude. You wake us up and then run? At least stay for tea. Tea? The insectoid squeaked. Yes. You'll like it. Poisonous to half the galaxy, but delightful once you adapt. She unslung her weapon as if it were a teapot. The aliens realized, in stages, that these humans weren't confused. They weren't bewildered revenants stumbling into a new age. They were eager, hungry, as if the silence of centuries had only whetted their appetite. And they were already making plans. By the time the collective's rescue ships arrived, the humans had taken command of the tomb systems. The valley's black towers unfolded, revealing missile silos that aimed not at the intruders but skyward, challenging the galaxy itself. Velth begged the humans to stand down. The lead human merely smiled. Stand down? Ambassador, we haven't stood up in 1,000 centuries. We're just stretching our legs. The aliens tried force. Squadrons of drones, armored strike teams, orbital bombardment. The humans watched with clinical interest as each assault was dismantled by systems they'd left running as background security. One soldier quipped, "We wrote those defense codes before breakfast, didn't we? Held up rather well." Another replied, "Imagine what we'll do after coffee." The galaxy panicked. Rumors spread faster than light. Human dead walking, ancient armies rising, weapons that hadn't degraded but improved in storage. Every empire dispatched fleets to monitor, contain, or annihilate the tomb. And the humans welcomed them. Cheerfully. They stood at the gates, smiling, weapons idle, as alien fleets assembled in orbit. The lead human gave a small bow over the comms. "Marvelous turnout. You've saved us centuries of hunting you down one by one. Now, do tell, who wants to declare war first?" The aliens didn't. Not willingly. But fear made them twitchy. A single misfire, a nervous captain, a mistaken lock-on, one shot was all it took. The humans grinned. "There it is," the leader whispered. "The opening shot." The tomb erupted. Towers unfolded into cannons. Coffins emptied into armies. War machines the size of cities rose from underground vaults, engines purring like cats who'd scented prey. And the humans laughed. Polite, delighted laughter, as though the universe itself had finally remembered the rules of the game. "You see," one said as she decapitated a drone with a flick of her blade, "we never die. We just wait for someone to wake us up." Another, "And you were so kind to oblige." The collective screamed across comm channels, begging ceasefire. The humans were merciless but not chaotic. They fought with precision, tactics so elegant it was almost art. Every strike crippled fleets without waste. Every maneuver mocked the galaxy's modern strategies, exposing them as clumsy imitations of techniques humanity had mastered eons before. It became clear, the humans hadn't been resting by accident. This tomb wasn't a grave. It was a deployment cache. A trap. And the aliens had sprung it. The climax came when the lead human finally spoke again, standing amidst the wreckage, smiling with all the warmth of a kindly professor explaining a lesson. "You thought we were gone. You thought you were safe. But we never left. We simply prepared. Because there is always another war, Ambassador. Always." Velth, trembling, croaked. "But why? Why wait so long? Why set this trap?" The human leaned close, voice dropping to a whisper sharp as a blade. "Because it's not a trap for you. Confusion rippled across the channels. Then the stars themselves seemed to shudder. Beyond the system, shadows moved, vast, hungry shapes older than any empire, answering the human signal. The humans looked up with grim satisfaction. There they are. The real enemy. And as the galaxy's fleets turned to face the approaching dark, the humans only smiled wider, weapons gleaming in the light of resurrection. We asked where the war was, the leader said. Thank you for pointing us in the right direction.